this is the second part for the arrow video. Again, I'm using a word in English. You're not to use words in English. In your submission, you have to tell me the word that you're using. For example, let's say the word cavolo. Cavolo is cabbage in Italian. If you're using that word, you will have to tell me word in Italian, cavolo, translation, cabbage. I need that for every word because I need to know what am I supposed to look at. So it's your classmates. So I'm gonna do the word arrow and I'm gonna use that typeface that I found on the previous video. So when you guys are in Illustrator, you're gonna go File, New. You have 4 words to do on this case. So you're gonna go and take care of these things here. I'm gonna be using inches. Sometimes it comes in pixels, make sure you do inches. You're gonna be using basic boards. They're 6x6. Okay, 6 inches by 6 inches for our boards. Then I want like 1, 2, 3, 4. Not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just more effective to work on a screen. So I want you guys to learn how to do that. So if you go to more settings, you can organize that. This is that choice. If you do this, you will get a scroll. So I have 4 boards, 6x6. And the space between them is 0.27. You can change it here. Let's say I want 1/4 of an inch. 0.27 is kind of weird. 1/4 is 0.25 inches, or 1/4. 0.25 is 1/4. So I go create document. Okay, and I have 2 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, create document. And this is what we get. So I said I'm gonna do arrow. I'm gonna zoom here. Whoa, that's too much of a zoom. Maybe I need to go out a little more. Okay. And sometimes Illustrator gets lost. So when that happens, I click on the lower part, lower left part of the screen, and I click fit on screen, and they're back. So when I think of an arrow, you know, a basic arrow, this is just me drawing crazy here. I think of something like that, okay? And the arrows have like little things here. So what I was thinking was to do the word, and this is kind of narrow, arrow. I can make it wider because you see the resemblance here and the resemblance there. Okay, so that's my concept. Hopefully it will work. I haven't rehearsed this, so if it doesn't work, don't hate me. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I have my align palette out and my layers. I always like to have the layers. I'm gonna put a background, and for this, I think of arrows, something earthly and like old. So I'm gonna do like a background color, maybe some kind of a brownish color or something. So right now I have no fill and I have an edge. I want it backwards. I want to be able to draw a square because I'm going to draw the background. And I want some kind of like a, I don't know, like creamy color like that or something woody. So it feels like wood here. Okay. You know, arrows that made out of wood. So I go, that's a cool color. So if I go to my layers, I can actually lock that. That way I cannot click by accident and move the stuff. So I'm locking on the sub layer itself. See, otherwise it will move. And you don't want to move that by accident because it happens. So I lock it right here. If I don't want to see it, I can poke the little eyeball. So now I'm going to type arrow. And you can type in a column, vertical type. Okay, so I can go and type arrow, but in this case, now I want it to be black and white. So I click the basic setup of the software. So I type arrow. Okay, I can make it larger if I want. I press shift first, then drag the mouse, let the mouse go, and then I release. Now, if I go to the type tool to release a window, is type character. and it comes out. Okay, so, oh my God, there's so many pop-ups in the new Illustrator. So it's a Myriad Pro. I'm gonna highlight here and I'm gonna paste. Remember on the previous video, I'm sorry, I copied the name of the typeface because I'm not gonna remember it. Sometimes I just write them down. I got hundreds of them on my computer. So it's a mono headline and return, and there it is. That looks more like an arrow, you know. And I'm gonna stick to the same families that I have here of colors. So I'm gonna check this color out. The background color, if I go to Windows Swatches, for those of you who paint, this is my palette. So, you know, I'm within this browns here and green color. So I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna stick to the same colors. I don't wanna be adding a lot of color. There's no need for that. Let's keep the thing simple. So what I'm doing here is, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my mouse. Not rolling, there we go. I'm gonna use this color. So it's all within the same natural wood color feeling. But I'm thinking of an arrow like the A should be bigger. So one of the things I can do is I can highlight the A, okay? And I can start making it bigger. I can start changing the size of that A. So I'm going back to my character and I can start adding numbers here, selecting larger ones. You see that? That's the way to do it. And then I was playing with the spacing between the letters as well. Do I want more space? Do I not? So this is 60 points. What happens if I do 70? I can highlight, enter a number. I can also highlight this and click the up arrow in the keyboard and actually see what happened. So this is kind of fun. This is a lot more fun. So I go, oh, that's kind of neat. That's 94. So I'm gonna do the same thing here, 94, I guess. And keeping this guys the same, 94, I press return. And that gives me a sense of an arrow. The other thing I could do, if I want to, I could narrow these typefaces here. If I press Option, click on the type, and I drag, it makes a copy of it. So you can do a lot of crazy stuff. See how you can narrow the type? I could narrow this, but keep the A original. You know, a way to do that would be, I can delete the A, I can delete the W, I could hit the middle one. You see that? Then here in this one, I could simply delete this 3, hit return. Whoa! I'm hitting the space bar to create the space in between. Then I can put this in between. That looks more like an arrow. I can highlight the whole thing and use the alignment tool. You guys see that? And now I got an arrow. I was tempted to flip the W to make it look more like an arrow, but then it's gonna look like an M, and it's not something that I want. Now that I have this too, you see, I'm not clicking the square because it's locked. It's right there. So I have this two, make sure they're aligned. I want them to behave like one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to Object and Group, or Command G on the Mac. And now they behave like one. So I can unlock the square here. I can also select it, Shift, and I click here. And now I can align the whole thing. I can also align it to the center. I can move the board because everything's still selected. I can fine tune it with my little arrows on the keyboard. And there's the answer to it. I'm not too happy about the space here. Maybe it could be work a little better. But this is just a general idea of words that you can do. It's big enough on the board, but there's some breathing space. Make it look professional. You want this to look cool. So this is just an example of one word. For your project, you have to do 4 on a foreign language. You can pick all different languages. The idea is when people look at them, they don't get distracted by the meaning. Because the word arrow, you kind of know already what I'm talking about. So it kind of misses the fun. This is useful later in your life when you start designing logos and that kind of thing. And it's a way to design cool, simple, and effective logos. So I hope this video helped you. Take care.